But June 2000 here, coming at you with a rant on the Roadhouse remake, which was a generic piece of shit remake that's out there that came out this year. And no wonder Amazon wanted this movie on their website, on their streaming prime bullshit channel. Because originally this was supposed to go to theaters. This movie would have been a flop. And nobody would have not seen the shitty remake. So Amazon did the better choice to just stream it on their platform instead. And this is a remake of the original film with Patrick Swayze and Sam Elliot, but this one stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Conner McGregor. And yeah, this movie's such a piece of shit. It's a generic remake of the original. And what baffles me about this movie is that they don't use practical fights. It's CGI suits, fight body suits in these movie, and I could see why Amazon didn't want this to go to theaters because look at how shitty this movie is. This movie has CGI body suits, CGI fight sequence. Even when Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal are fighting in the fucking bar, there's this lamppost, big large lamppost thing that falls down from the roof, and it's so fucking CGI and it's fake bullshit. I'm like, what the hell? They could not use real stuff for that stunt. That is so dumb. And there's some more CGI bullshit in this movie, but this one's about Dalton, who's like a bit of a bouncer, but he's like now they change him as an MMA fighter instead. I could have liked it if it was just a sequel, like where okay, Jake Gyllenhaal is Dalton's son. I could have liked that better if that was the case, but it's a remake, and he's playing the remake version of Patrick Swayze's character. And what's ironic is that both Patrick Swayze and Jake Gyllenhaal did previously act in the movie, which was Darko. Yeah, Donnie Darko. And that's a better movie than this bullshit. Of course, he wants to fight. I think Post Malone was in this movie and he was like the chicken shit fighter. I'm not fighting this fucking guy. Fuck that. I'm not fighting him. Yeah. His horrible acting, and then boom, Dalton just wins money after not fighting this jackass character, that chicken out, and then he gets an offer to help out from this lady who owns a bar in the valley and stuff. And he accepts it, and he goes and finds out what's wrong with the bar. It's like the remake of the first movie where he sees all the bar is being run down like shit. The bartenders are not helpful. Like not are not like there's some bartenders that are stealing money. There's bouncers that are not giving a shit about helping out, and then they're doing a shitty job at kicking them out, and they're starting brutal fights with the drunken patrons. So he sees all this shit going on because he gets big fight sequence, and all in all, he fires and hires some folks, and then he encounters these assholes, and one of them is JD Picardo, and I know he was in the Mayans show, Mayans MC with with Emilio Rivera. Like he's like the lead of that show, but he's like the bad guy in this movie. He's like a minor bad guy in this movie where he goes to the bar harassing everybody, bullying everybody, and treating everybody like shit. And then Dalton doesn't take no shit, so he kicks his ass and takes his ass outside and fighting his guys. And of course, his right hand man is just an idiot. Like falling for Dalton's bullshit and saying, "Oh, where's the hospital? Oh, it's just about 25 minutes away." Like, what a fucking ass! Who's asking him? Like, you're supposed to be a bad guy, but he's just obviously just telling him, "Oh, it's 25 minutes away." What the hell? Stupid ass characters, man. And then, of course, he does kick their asses, beating them up, punching them, clotheslining them, going all WWE style bullshit. CGI mixed with CGI. And then, of course, that character that started the fight, he goes with his girlfriend and drives his truck, trying to run over Dalton and hit him in the back with his truck, where Dalton falls on the back of the truck, and he falls out of the bridge and he falls into the river. That shit was CGI. Like, I saw how fake it looked, like how the truck looked fake in CGI. Oh gosh, that is so bullshit. Like, I could tell when it was like, of course, dark time. They're trying to cover it, so it won't be obviously. I could clearly see it, even if it was more darker. I could have seen how fake and bullshit that was. They didn't use a practical car with a stunt guy to fall in the river. That looked like an easy job for a stunt guy to do. Like, could just jump and then boom, fall on the jump on, jump your ass on the back of the truck and then boom and then fall in the river. That could be an easy practical job, but no, they have to use the CGI bullshit. And then he goes after that asshole again after Dalton gets out of the river. He finds that dude in a boat and then kicks his ass in brutal punchy punch mixed with CGI crap. And then he gets him thrown off the boat and he falls in the river. And then he's like being all cocky, cursing him, Dalton out, and then comes out not Veda, but like there's an alligator that's going after him, and then Dalton's trying to save his stupid ass, and then boom, the alligator gets that bad guy and chomps him up. I'm like, I'm watching this bullshit remake, this piece of shit remake, and there's an alligator that kills one of the bad guys. Why am I like? Why is like what? I could be watching X, Pearl, or Lake Placid, or even Alligator over this bullshit. I could be watching those movies because some guy gets killed. And that's like the only thing I remember about this damn movie. It's just, oh, that's cool. An alligator appears in the movie and and then the alligator kills one of the bad guys and chops him up and chews him in the water. Like how Veda did in Peril and X. And also an alligator. That's an awesome movie. But yeah, that was a bit of a creature feature part where one of the bad guys gets chopped up by an alligator. And it's kind of CGI too, because you could tell it was mixed with CGI when the guy's getting killed, and even CGI blood's mixed in the water. And of course, the bad guy is getting fed up by Dalton's reputation, so he calls up Conner McGregor, and Conner McGregor is the most cartoony ass action villain movie villains of all time. And some people want to say that, oh, the villains in some of the 70s and 80s action movies were, and also 90s action movies were generic and over the top. They may have been over the top and stupid and funny, and a lot of people may not have liked it. But you know what? At least they gave emotion in their part, and they were not goofball jackasses like Conor McGregor, who plays one of the most goofy horror, not horror. I mean, one of the goofiest action villains of all time, and he has this weird, stupid laugh that he keeps having this weird smile and this weird ass smile, even though he's a psychopath. It's like that's goofy for a psychopath, like to be doing that. Like how he doesn't even have a demented or evil look. He has like this silly ass smile that keeps smiling. And of course, you get his ass shot that everybody keeps talking about his ass because he gotta because they're calling him about, oh, we need help to take care of Dalton, and he just came out after he was after he was in the middle of fucking. He went out and got the phone, and he's like walking in the village all butt ass naked, with his ass being shown, and talking to the bad guy that's calling him, and then boom, he goes to the place, and then he wants to go and see Dalton and fight him, and then he goes and meets Dalton at the place and have a shitty fight. And yeah, the fight was just crap. It's full of CGI, especially like when I told you about the ceiling thing that was like hanging on the roof of the bar. It falls and it's CGI, and even some of the stuff that gets slammed, it's all CGI. And then the fight sequence are CGI. You could tell there's like no actual punch hitting them. It's so bullshit. Like I'm surprised they didn't even animate it this fucking movie. Like if they're gonna go all heavy CGI, like if they're worried about doing practical fights, then why not just like why didn't you just film the stupid movie in CGI animation? So it'll be less distracting. Okay, it's already in CGI animation. Okay, you got the movie. You don't need to see that CGI in a practical fights that looks like it's practical fights, but it's bullshit. And of course, Conor McGregor, he's fighting him, he's punching Jake Gyllenhaal, and having this stupid ass smile, which, like, that's so goofy. Like, what the hell? This villain that keeps smiling, he's like beating the shit out of Jake Gyllenhaal. He's supposed to be a psychopathic menace to him, bad guy. It's just such a goofball, jackass. Like, his performance just felt too cartoony. There were cartoony villains in I seen in movies. I know I did recently reviewed The Crow Salvation. Fred Ward did a cartoony villain, which did took me a bit out of the movie. Like, what the hell, Fred Ward? But his performance, I would still say, even though it's cartoony, his performance is better than Conor McGregor. I like Fred Ward, criminally underrated actor, but Conor McGregor is just such a goofball. His acting's mediocre, but it's just like he has this goofy ass smile when he's like fighting. He's like, that's him. He's like smiling when he's like punching Jake Gyllenhaal. He has this fucking smile. And I'm like supposed to buy this guy as a psychopathic menace? Like, what the fuck? And of course, he shows his dominance to Jake Gyllenhaal after beating him up, and then it wants to think, oh, Jake Gyllenhaal's gonna give up and leave, but he's still around. And of course, he has his girlfriend, because you know how Patrick Swayze had a girlfriend in the first movie. Well, of course, Dalton gets a girlfriend, and her acting is dog shit. I don't know who that actress is, but her performance was awful. She couldn't deliver any emotion, and there was like no chemistry between her and Jake Gyllenhaal. Even if they put somebody else in this role that is like a well-known younger actress, there was gonna be no chemistry because of this shitty script. But yeah, not the actress' fault. Just I don't know, just like how they cast. They do a shitty job at casting actors nowadays. They can't even fucking act a lot, and you could tell they're newer actors. Like they don't even have any acting experience. Like they didn't want to go to. You could tell that they haven't finished their acting school lessons, and you could tell they're obviously fucking bad. And that's why a lot of these new movies kind of suck because a lot of these new actors they can't act for shit at all. But yeah, Dalton wants to take vengeance after Conor McGregor and his men attacked and beat up his his friend who owned a pet store, and also attacked his friend's daughter. So Jake Gyllenhaal wants to take vengeance, because of course they burned the place down. He wants to take vengeance, going after them. He does. They go to the boat where the bad guy has held his girlfriend in ransom, and then it's just that generic bullshit where he has to save his girlfriend. Typical shit. But the movie goes on about how Conor McGregor, oh, that money's for me, instead of that bad guy, the guy that hired him, because he says, oh, it's his money, but he goes back and forth like, oh, I want my money. So it's like his money that Jake Gyllenhaal stole. And the movie just goes on about this bullshit where they want to argue about the money, and then boom, they start fighting, shit fighting, CGI fighting, and boom, Jake Gyllenhaal gets his girlfriend out of the boat, and they get onto a boat to escape, and then the boat explodes. The main bad guy is like with Jake Gyllenhaal, fighting him, fist punching him on the boat, CGI bullshit around it, and Conor McGregor's on a jet ski going after him, and boom. After Jake Gyllenhaal punched the bad guy, then Jake Gyllenhaal and his girlfriend jump out of the boat, and then the bad guy jumps off the boat with the boat in all CGI fashion where it crashes. I'm like, what the hell? No practical, and then yeah, because you can tell his stunt is all CGI animated, where it looks so obviously bullshit and fake. And the fucking boat flies out in CGI style and explodes with CGI fire. And then Conor McGregor gets there and has another fight with Jake Gyllenhaal, and still has this stupid fucking smile where he goes and he punches him in the face. Like, he has his smile. Like, what the hell? That really distracted me. Like, wait a minute. This guy's supposed to be a seriously psychopathic menace to Dalton. He's supposed to be scary. No, I didn't buy him as scary. He's just so goofball. He's just such a goofy villain. But yeah, that's so stupid. But yeah, I hate this fucking movie, man. Yeah, the movie's just so dumb with this psychopathic villain who's supposed to be psychopath, but he's just such a goofball head. And they have this CGI bodysuit fight where their bodies, you can tell they're CGI. Boom. Fake punches, fake fights, fake shit. No practical fights like how Dalton and the bad guy had in that scene where they're fighting by the lake, and you have to throw it at the end. No, that was a brutal, vicious fight. Where this fight is so shitty and CGI crap. And of course, they have pinch punching. They want to, and the cinematography is dog shit. The way the movie's lit with this gloomy color scheme, so ugly color schemes around it. And then the fight just goes on about like punching them, punching, all that crap. And Dalton grabs a wooden piece from the broken table, stabs Conor McGregor in the chest a few times, and he goes, like, what the fuck, bro? Man. And then of course, like he stabbed him and killed him, and he reunites with his girlfriend, the bar patrons, and then Conor McGregor's taken to the hospital. They're fixing up the bar. He helps out his friend, giving Conor McGregor's money to the ones that they attack his friend and his friend's daughter, and give money to them to help out build their business back to where it was, because it was burned to the ground by the bad guys. Because of course, Jake Gyllenhaal does kill some bad guys before all this event happened, but it was all off-screen crap. And yeah, because they probably had they have not much budget. They couldn't afford a more fight sequence and more body count. But yeah, the movie ends where Dalton says his goodbye to his girlfriend and then his friend and his girlfriend's dad, who's a cop, and then he goes on a Greyhound to drive to go off to another state to stay at and work at a bar, and then um, you get like an end credit and post credit scene where Conner McGregor, he's not dead because he did go to the hospital and you thought maybe he would be dead at his injuries, but no, he's still alive. And of course, he kills a few of the doctor the doctors that were there, throwing them blood, smearing on the mirror, the window, the door. He gets out, having his goofy ass smile with his hospital gurney going because the camera goes behind him and shows his ass where his hospital gown is like flipping around showing his ass, and women's are like with their mouth all gassed like looking at it and staring at his ass. And of course he's gonna come back and fight Dalton, so like it's yeah, coming back for another shitty, they're probably do a shitty sequel. Hope they don't, but yeah, that no, because that does set up for a shitty sequel. But I don't know if that ever gonna happen. But hopefully it doesn't fucking happen because this movie was a piece of shit remake, generic piece of shit. It's just like for a while, like I have not seen any good shit. The only good thing I have seen so far from this year was Spaceman with I might not get it wrong with the title, but it was that Spaceman movie with Adam Sandler. That was a really good movie where he's in space and he's alone with this CGI spider that's like his conscious psychiatrist, voiced by Paul Dano, who was the Riddler in the Batman movie. But yeah, that was pretty good. And that was like one of the movies I enjoyed this year, and that was pretty much it. I didn't give a shit about most of these new movies that came out, and of course this movie came out, this Roadhouse remake that I'm doing a piece of shit rant on. Yeah, this movie's such a piece of shit. Like it has like okay acting, like Jake Gyllenhaal was trying, but you could tell he was given a piece of shit script to read and go through and sleepwalk through it. You could tell he sleepwalked through it because he respected the original. He probably just did like a sleepwalking performance so he could give more respect to Patrick Swayze's performance in the original. Because they both did star in Donnie Darko, so like I want to just sleepwalk through this piece of shit and not and give the golden key to Patrick Swayze's performance in the original better. And I know they did a shitty sequel, which I ain't gonna fucking bother. But yeah, this is a piece of shit remake, and it's generic. And Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't bad. I did like Jake Gyllenhaal, but it's like you could tell he couldn't save the movie. Even Conner McGregor, one of the goofy ass action villains of all time, with a goofy smile that distracts you and unconvinces you him being a menacing villain. Like what the fuck? And also heavy CGI bodysuits, fight sequence, and other stuff being used as CGI, stuff falling, stuff hitting, even a car being used as CGI to hit Jake Gyllenhaal and throw him in the river. What the fuck, man? That is just some lazy shit. No wonder Amazon didn't want the filmmakers to put this in theaters, because the filmmakers, they wanted to put this in a theatrical run, but Amazon said no. We'll hold this as an Amazon Prime exclusive. And you know what? They made the right decision, because this would have been a big ass flop and nobody would have not gone to see this movie. But all in all, this movie is just a generic piece of shit. But all in all, yeah, this movie sucked. It's just so far, some of these movies coming out this year kind of suck. But hopefully we get some good shit this year. I'm looking forward to Deadpool 3. I'm pissed that they Was it Saw 11? They pushed back for a year, which I'm pissed off at that. Like I was looking forward to that coming out this year. Um, Maxine, I'm definitely looking forward to. The Joker too. It's kind of niffy about it being a musical, but we'll see if that is a good movie or if it's a straight up piece of shit. Who knows? The Crow remake, I had to wait till I see that. But in Beetlejuice 2, I'm actually excited for that. Hopefully, it's not cringy bullshit and it's straight up really good and entertaining. But yeah, that's my rant on the Roadhouse remake. What a generic piece of shit this one is. And I know I just did a remake rant on the remake of The Hitcher. So yeah, did two remakes that I ranted on. But yeah, hit the like, subscribe, and take care, folks. Bye bye.